Welcome to Black, Beautiful, and Brave. I'm Candy.
I'm Ayana, and thank you for joining us to listen to topics that interest us as Black, beautiful Christian single women.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Listen, if you are watching us for the first time, for the second time, or third time, we want you to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify. Right here below is our information where you can find us. And if you find our conversation interesting, we want you to share it with people that you believe who might enjoy this conversation.
That's right. That's right.
Yes.
What
So
are we talking about today, Candy?
wow, we have a great episode today, right? Today, in chapter 3, we're talking about dating, right?
Mhm.
And we want to bring in different groups to come in and to speak. So we have a group today, guys. I think this is going to be quite interesting. And it's a somewhat mixed group. We want to
It
talk
is.
about red flags. You see it on the title already. Red flags in dating as an adult. As an
Mm.
adult. And so we have a few guests, a few friends with us today, and we're going to bring them into the room. Some of
Eh.
them you may have recognized um, from the previous season
Mhm.
of Content. Welcome back, Alicia, Chris,
Woo!
and our new friend Shelly.
Jelly, yeah.
Welcome, guys, to Black, Beautiful, and Brave, and welcome back. For
Sweet,
those who've been here
sweet.
before, welcome. And thank you for joining us.
Mm.
So let's go ahead and get started. Before we
Mhm.
get started, well, right before we get started, let's do some brief introductions. What would you like to know? How would you like them to introduce themselves, Ayana?
So let them tell us anything they want to share about themselves. First of all, whether they're single, available, not available, because we talk about that a lot, right? You can be single but not available. So we just want to know, just in case we have persons who are listening, especially for the ladies and the gent. And we do have one gent with us, a brave gentleman here with us today. Um, so we're gonna start. I'm gonna start with Alicia. Tell us, where you're at, your status at the moment.
Well, I'm still single. Um, what else did you ask?
Are you available? Because in case you
I'm,
have any
I'm single and available. Yes, I am.
all right. And Shelly, for my good friend, she's new to the podcast. Shelly, same question. Tell us a little bit about yourself and more or less about your singleness, your single status.
Hi, everyone. I'm Shelley. I am living in Trinidad and Tobago in the Caribbean, the beautiful island.
Yeah.
And I am unavailable at the moment.
What?
But I do have a lot of experience.
Hey, listen, it is what it is.
Well,
What it is.
technically, you're
Yeah.
single until somebody put a ring
The
on
ring
it.
on it.
Okay?
Right.
Yeah.
But she's
Right.
not entertaining
Unavailable.
anyone. She's not
Okay.
entertaining any new people.
All right. You see, I didn't know it's a good thing we're doing this section of the podcast. I didn't know. Okay. All right. Okay. Chris.
Yes. Hey, yes. I'm Chris, and I am single, and I am available.
What?
Yeah, that's
All
it.
right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes. No contracts over here. No contracts.
Let's go
We're
all
not,
the way around.
we're not even in negotiations over here. It's yeah.
All right, Ayana, how about you? We're going to go
I'm-
all the way around.
Right. So I'm single. I'm currently not available as well. So,
Oh,
Shelly
easy.
All these surprises in the
Yeah.
Listen.
room. Listen here. It's revelation time.
Oh man.
All right, Candy. Okay, don't get distracted.
All right,
Candy.
no, let's start with our first question. Our first question today.
Wait,
is-
Hold on. What the-
Candy, come on, reel and come back. Come back.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I'm Candy. I'm single, and I'm not available.
Hey.
For
Yeah.
foolishness. For foolishness. But I am available for
All right, okay.
intentionality.
I was starting to feel a little lonely here. Thank you, Candy. I mean, like, I prefer that you be available, but it's just good to have a partner. Just to say,
I'm available. I'm available. Yes, definitely.
We all are single. We just have 2 unavailable, right, at the moment.
right?
Correct.
Oh,
Correct.
right. Okay.
Correct.
Hold on.
Okay.
What do you
All
mean?
are single.
Hold on. What you mean? What are you talking about? Who? Oh, yes, just you two unavailable. Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
He's like, hold up.
Hold on, wait a minute. I'm like, yo, listen, I'm available for the foolishness. I'm available for the seriousness. I'm available for mayhem.
He's here for it all. Mercy.
Lord, I'm
Breaker.
available to you.
That's right. That's right. Listen.
All right, so
listen,
everyone has made their status clear. So if
Yes.
anyone is looking on, just know, right? This is the situation. So, Candy,
Yes.
first question.
All right, here. Let's just say this. Lay the foundation. I can say that the title says a dating in as
Red flag.
adults,
Mhm.
right? And I can say, is it safe for me to say that everyone here is 40 plus,
Yes.
right? 40 plus, meaning we're at least 40. Oh,
What do you
Because
mean?
oh my
What
gosh.
do you mean by that? No, let me
least
stop.
40
Yes, we're
years
at least
or
40.
older.
Yeah, at least 40.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we're not
At
in
least-
we're not spring
No, we're
chicken.
Oh, at least
We've
yes.
lived life, we've
Yes,
experienced
yes.
life, and so forth. So here's the question. What
Okay.
is a red flag at 25 that
Mhm.
becomes a deal breaker
Mhm.
at 45?
Mhm.
So this was a red flag at 25.
Mm.
And
I
at
don't think that's a
45
fair question. I don't think that's a fair question because at 25, everything's a go.
No, but what's a red flag at 25? There's not
Like
everything is not a go.
everything is a go, unless you
No,
have some
no,
type
no.
of terminal
Poor
disease. If
hygiene
you
is
have
never a
AIDS.
go.
Okay,
Listen,
that's a good point.
soap and water. Listen, soap and water never. Listen, you can work with that. You
Okay.
can work with that. You
Listen,
can
this
teach.
is
You can teach.
perspective. It's okay. He wants to be able to teach his woman how to
No.
Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
Nah,
now.
okay,
Tell the
yes,
truth.
yes,
Tell
for
the
real.
truth.
Hygiene is an issue. Hygiene
Yeah,
is an
exactly.
issue.
So yeah, let's go around. Let's go around. We hear Chris. He said at 25, everything's a go.
Yeah.
Almost. But what was
Okay, except for the hygiene. If she
Except for the
stink,
hygiene.
okay. If she stink, we got a problem.
so at 25, hygiene is a red flag. At 45, that's a deal breaker.
Mhm.
At every age, that
I
should
mean-
be a deal breaker.
That's true.
Can we please specify what we mean by hygiene? I mean, because I mean, let's just for definition, because I believe we all have our own how we define hygiene.
Okay.
You know, because I'm thinking if she doesn't put on deodorant, you know, or if you know, I don't know if she, I don't know, but then you know, Alicia might be thinking if they don't brush their teeth, if they don't bathe every single day. I'm but I'm just saying, can we just
Absolutely.
define
I think
what
that's a good place to
hygiene,
start.
how we define
Yeah.
hygiene?
Yeah.
And I'm
Alicia,
not, listen, she's looking like, dude, this guy is disgusting.
Yes,
Nah.
Alicia, go ahead and define hygiene.
Well, I mean, a lot of what it encompassed a lot of what he had to say, right? And I feel like at 25, right, unless you were raised by wolves, you should know brushing your teeth is important, taking a shower, you know, smelling good. I mean, we as parents, you go through this with teenagers, and growing up as a teenager, your parents will tell you need to take a bath, you need to take a shower. And if I'm teaching you this at 25, you know, I mean, I know in a clinical field that some people have underlying health issue that doesn't always that manifests itself in that being a problem. But then if you have a conversation with a person and there's no change or whatever, then, you know, you have to think about these things. But honestly, at 25, I shouldn't be telling you that you have to brush your teeth and take a bath and that type of thing. I think at that age, you should know that, you know. So yes, that would be a deal breaker for me, even young. I would tell you, as I grew older, I think I've been more dismissive in my 25, being 25 years old.
Yeah.
In the 30s and 40s is a conversation because I've matured now. And I was like, maybe some people don't know, it's a conversation I would have. In my 25, I would be like, you'd be iced out,
Mhm.
you know.
Mm,
Older, that's a conversation I would,
Right.
engage in prior to dismissing the person, you know.
right,
Mhm.
right. Okay. Well, good, good. So that's your take on what is a red flag that becomes a deal breaker. Anyone else? What is a red flag that becomes a deal breaker at
I,
45?
I think little kids, little infants. I think it's definitely become a deal breaker for me.
So if she is 45 or she's in her 40s and she has young children, that's a deal breaker for you.
Yeah, yeah, because at 47, um, I don't want to deal. I don't. I think I don't want to deal with the baby daddy drama. I don't want to deal with the you know trying to find a position in her life. I don't want to fight with when it comes to discipline. Um,
Mm,
and being honest, I think men we do grow attached to kids, and you know to be told, you're not my daddy, or he's not your kid. Dealing with that, I'm beyond it. I think, yeah, that is a definite deal breaker. It's something I could deal with at 25 because I had the bandwidth, but now yeah. Mm-mm.
mm. And so you're saying there's a difference between at 45 or in your 40s, we're having a little kid versus having an adult child. That's different.
Absolutely, yeah. Having
Okay.
older kids, you can manage. I can deal with that. Infants, and just
Yeah. No. Okay. 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 What about you, Shelley?
I think a deal breaker for me would probably be immaturity.
Mm.
I think when you're younger, you're willing to accept that, inexperience or, just lack of insights is understandable. But when you're older, there are some things that you realize are important in life, and you're not going to be willing to compromise. At least I won't be willing to compromise on certain things. Yeah.
Mm. Okay. Okay. Very good. I'm trying to think for myself. Yes, Alicia.
So the hygiene thing wasn't my thing. I was just
Ah,
piggybacking off of what he
you're
said.
just defining it.
right,
Yeah.
yeah,
So what's
yeah.
your thing? What's your deal breaker? That was a red flag.
So I think in my younger days, I would deal with somebody who didn't have a job or
Mm,
Okay.
necessarily a career path
mhm.
because we could work along with that. But being older now, in this age, having to deal with somebody who has not accomplished anything or done anything with themselves, or having to deal with that being somebody who have some semblance of accomplishment, I think it's a deal breaker for me at this time. I think when you're younger, you could grow alongside that person and build together.
Mhm,
I
mhm.
think at this age in life, and I'm figuring that out now, the compatibility with somebody who doesn't have anything in terms of a man, and meeting someone who's not able to appreciate where you are or see it as
Mm.
dominance or control. Um,
Mhm.
I'm seeing a lot of that, and so for me now, it's a deal breaker.
So you said quite a few things there. And so the difference between a man who has not obtained those type of successes. Oh, we have Ayana back. I think we do. Awesome. Those successes versus someone who can't appreciate what you have done. Are you saying, because there are some guys, and I've met some guys who at maybe in their 30s realizing this, this is what direction I want to go in. It's going to take me a while to get there. And so in their 40s, they may not have attained a lot, but they're finishing up school. They're, now motivated to move in whatever direction, because they're not everybody is given the same opportunity as females. Granted, Black women, we are the most educated person in America, right? Black females are the most educated individuals. So therefore, if we're the most educated, and if we're using education as a level or a standard of success, there are going to be a lot of Black men who probably did not obtain education at the same rate as Black women. So therefore, with some Black men, right, if they have not obtained, if we said education as a standard, or they're still trying to make their way in their 40s, is that still a deal breaker?
Well, no, I mean, like you said, different things. You added a lot of nuances and bullet points to those things, right? And it's a lot, is a conversation to be had before making that decision. If you are at 40s and you started, the people who are in the field who they've been in it for a long time, but you're going somewhere, you have a plan, and you're working towards that. That's a whole different scenario as somebody who just didn't put in the work, or and I know there are men who starting over come through divorces and has literally bankrupt them financially. And they're on but they had a career, they had things, right, and they're looking to move, rebuild themselves, right, and they have a plan. I think just coming in and somebody who's just saying, okay, she has so I'm good, right, that's different from somebody who been through something and is now trying to rebuild. I have a lot more grace and mercy with that than somebody who's just not at all.
Freeloaders. I don't think she has talent for freeloaders.
I hear you. I hear you. Ayana, what do you have?
In terms of red flags,
That red flags in your 25, and that is now a deal breaker at 45 plus.
I would say I would be more forgiving of any type of perceived infidelity. So, like, sometimes, especially in the Caribbean men tend to flirt a lot, and, we grew up in a culture where it's seen as acceptable to have, like, the men complimenting other women, just being very flirty with other women. At 25, I might see it as, well, it's part of our culture. At 45, I'm like, you need to grow up. So that's a deal breaker for me. So you cannot be complimenting other people and doing it openly. And I think the biggest part of that for me is when you don't compliment the person you're with, but you're complimenting other people. I have a big problem with that. Big problem.
Yeah, I would too. Yeah. I mean, is that fair? I mean, that's a good response. Here's our next question. Not to put the men on the chopping block.
Oh, we're here for it. I'm here for it.
So if a man
I'm here for it.
Appreciate that. If a man says, I'm just not where I want to be yet, what does that mean to you now? It ties in a little bit to what Alicia was saying, a little bit, but so not just career-wise or it could be, relationship-wise or what have you. What does that mean to you when a man says, I'm just not where I want to be yet?
Yeah, I want to hear
Shelly, tell us, what does that mean to you?
Speaking to the mic.
But I was going to hear other responses.
Yeah,
I wanted to get a little bit of the answer.
I'm so happy that you chose Shelly.
Yes, and we'll let Chris go last.
Oh yes.
No, I want to stay here, Chris, next.
No, man.
What do you hear? What do you hear? I'm just not where I want to be yet.
Mm.
Do you mean in general or in a relationship? In general. Okay.
Meeting a
So
man. You just meeting a man and he says to you, you ask him something and he just says, I'm not where I want to be yet.
Is this man in his 40s and 50s?
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, okay.
unless you're a cougar.
Ooh, nothing wrong with being a cougar. Let me just say.
Listen, that might be the way to go. That might be the way to go.
Wow.
All the way,
Wow.
all the way. All right. Yes.
Good.
okay, I think from my perspective, I almost see that as something positive because I feel as if the person knows that there is growth that is needed.
Mm.
I myself can utter that same expression that I am not where I need to be at as yet. And this is, career wise, in most aspects of my life. And so I see it as something positive. Now, it has to be followed up by some measure of accomplishment. You're on a trajectory and you're not to the top of it as yet, but you're on your path. If somebody says, well, I haven't accomplished, but they have nothing behind them, it means that you maybe have not been working really on the things that you need to get done.
Yeah.
And so it depends on who it is, might be uttering this, but I don't see it as necessarily a deal breaker, but somebody who is seeking to grow.
Go ahead, Alicia.
Yeah.
Who's Alicia?
Or Ayana.
I can take it. I can take it. I think I like where Shelly is going with that. I feel like none of us really are at a point where we can say that we've arrived.
Right.
And I feel like if he says he's not there yet, then explain to me. Give me an explanation as to why you're not there. And it's not an explanation so that I could judge you, but it's an explanation so I could understand. So if you can provide me with a reasonable explanation, and of course, I have to do my own prayer and soul searching, because it may be a reasonable explanation, but at this point in my life, I might be like, well, that doesn't work for me. It doesn't mean that it wasn't, again, that it didn't make sense, what he said, but it may not align with where I am at this moment. But again, it has to be within the context. Why is he at this point? Why is he making this statement? And then for me now as an individual, is this something that I can live with based on what he has said?
Yeah. Alicia.
I agree with everything that was said previously. Hold on.
They say off camera.
I'm sorry, my computer is giving trouble.
I know.
Again.
Let me see if I could answer this.
I think internet access is a red flag. I think.
All right, let's
You were prepared to deal with hygiene, lack of proper hygiene. I think you could handle some internet.
Yeah, fair enough. Love it. Yeah.
I agree with all the sentiments that was expressed before. I think I'm learning now that it's important to give mercy and grace and not rush to judgment. The Bible said that we should seek mercy. Judgment is important, but we should seek mercy. And so I think listening, hearing where people are at, what has gotten them to this point. And also, you have to have a plan, and if you're working towards that plan. So I agree with all the sentiments that has gone before.
So I'll go next. For me, that is a trigger statement because I've heard it before. And so my follow-up question is when a person says, I'm not where I want to be yet. And so the question would be, where do you want to be? And maybe where they want to be is not with me.
Ooh.
Right? Yes,
Okay.
my thing is that you can say that when you're young, you can grow together. I
Mhm,
don't believe that is just for when you're young. You can grow
mhm,
together even wherever you are, right? That
mhm,
you can
mhm,
be a support to one another as
mhm,
far as this is what I plan on doing, right?
mhm,
And if in my case a man is like, okay, this is where I want to go, well, are you
mhm,
not looking for a helpmate, right? Not to say
mhm,
that you're relying on me. You want to go somewhere, but having someone along with you on that ride,
Mhm.
I don't think it's a bad thing, right? So this is where what I hear when I'm not where I want to be yet, but on this journey of getting there, you don't have to be alone to get there.
Mhm.
And
So,
so if I'm not the person that you can see along with you, going along with you, then maybe I'm not where you want to be yet.
Mm.
I'm
so
not
was
the
it
person to be with you on that journey. What are you gonna say,
okay,
Ayana?
you're taking yourself out, essentially.
I would need explanation. And
Mm,
then to me, it would be more so, okay, I hear what you're saying. And if you don't see that I can be there with you as you travel this journey of getting to where you want to be, then I'm not it.
Mm.
mm,
Because I
mm,
feel like what I hear with some men, and sometimes you've seen this where when a man is ready to be with someone, even if he's not where he so called wants to be, but he wants to be with that woman, they'll
mhm,
grow together, they'll move, they'll work together at whatever it is.
mhm,
If he
mhm.
really wants to be.
Okay. I'm next. Okay,
Okay,
I'm next. You know, I'm next.
go ahead.
He's like, I gotta say
He's
something.
like,
Yeah.
I'm done.
I
I'm
He's
gotta
done
like,
say something.
He's
with
just
So
the
he's just
foolishness.
bursting to come out.
yeah, I
Go
was
ahead,
holding
go
it
ahead,
back. I was trying to hold it back. I was trying to
go
hold it
ahead,
back.
go
Okay.
ahead.
So I actually first I want to say that I really appreciate this question because more frequently than not, it is an actual. It comes up.
Mhm,
Um, there were in my personal life, I've had to explain that to women before, and like Candy, they weren't listening to what I was saying. It's not
mhm,
about I don't. It's not that I don't want you. It's but there are things that I have to do for myself. So, like I said, I've been there where it's listen, I'm not where I want to be. I can't, and that's only because I know what it is to be with a woman of a high caliber. So we automatically place you. We see you as wife material. We see you as mother material. We see you as a partner, but we don't see ourselves in a position to where
mm,
we can provide for you because being a provider is very important for a man when he's looking at a woman. So when I said, listen, I'm not where I want to be, I drove trucks. I was recently dealing with with my divorce. So
mm,
emotionally, I wasn't available.
mm,
But I was still working towards getting to the point that I could do it. And if I could, once I get to that point, then, okay, listen, I'm able to emotionally give and provide for you what I know you deserve
mm,
instead of and what ended up happening is both women, both young ladies were like, you know well, I'm going to take myself, I'm supposed to help you when I don't need your help in this avenue. I
Mm,
need to do this is what I have to do for me in order
mm,
to so that I'm healthy for you. You know what
mm,
I mean? And
mm,
so, but in the same breath, I'm not gonna lie to you. In the same breath, I've also said it just so I can get out of the relationship. I can get what I want. I can get what I want, and I can move on. I'm not gonna
mm,
lie to you and
that
say
part.
that
mm,
but it does work both ways.
mhm,
Yeah.
mhm,
So yeah.
Alicia.
mhm,
I was, I'm glad that you ended with that. Um, and I think it's an injustice that men do to women when
mm,
they decide to embark on a relationship with somebody and they know they're not ready wholeheartedly.
mm.
But we
So, wait, I
yes,
listen to you.
you're right.
Ooh.
Um, so, um, it's unfair. Um, you're not totally vested, you're not totally ready, so you should be out of the game. You shouldn't want to nobody goes to the Olympics, right? And want to come last. Everybody's in there to win, and they put the work in to win. And if you want a woman of a certain caliber and you want to achieve that, you put the work in, then jump in the pool and fight. But you don't get in there and then decide, I'm still dealing emotionally. I'm still trying to get myself financially ready. And then you're not at a space where you feel like you want to commit to these women, and so you just
Right.
emotionally ghosted them.
Wow.
Wanted to get out, and
Right.
they've already built attachment. They're already looking at you.
Right.
And so I think it's unfair for men to do this because you got something from it, whatever you needed in that time and space. But you've left those women bankrupt. They've
Right.
given you something. And so a lot of men do that. If you're not ready to get the gold, don't jump in the race. Don't swim.
That,
Okay?
that's
If you want to practice, all right, you shouldn't practice with people's lives and emotions like this. And a lot of men do that. And that's where I have problems.
right. I agree. I agree with that wholeheartedly. That you should not jump in when you're in playing with people's emotions is never okay.
No.
But also as adults on both sides of the fence, we have to take accountability.
Yeah.
And
Totally
there
agree.
has been right. So you have situations where I've said I am not in a position for a relationship because after my divorce, I believe in being 100% transparent, even to my detriment. So if I tell you, hey, listen, I am not boyfriend material, I'm bleeding, this is where I'm at, and you take it upon yourself to play doctor or you want to
That's
be, and I've
different though.
told you, I
That's different.
understand that it is
Yeah.
different, but it's the only reason that we're saying that it's different is because you're on the outside looking when a woman and just when because that is the opposite sex. I deal with the opposite sex. When a woman makes up her mind. Some women say, this is what I want. I am going to go after this. There is no persuading you not
That's
to.
true.
And I'm not going to be, and I'm not going to lie to you. As a man, I've got 3 kids. So, I've got physical needs that I want to satisfy. And, I'm not going to lie and say that I don't choose to be selfish at times, and I haven't chosen to be selfish at times. But we all have physical needs, and that sometimes takes precedence. And it's not right, it's not fair. But if you say, hey, listen, no matter what, I'm going to do it. Am I wrong for taking what you're willing to give me, knowing my position? You feel
Yes.
what I'm saying? Because and I hear, I mean, I feel as though women do it a lot themselves. If you know that this guy is totally into you and he offers you out for dinner, are you wrong for accepting his invitation to dinner? Is it because you place his dinner on a different level than you giving your body? Is it, for me, I work hard for every dollar I get. It's an investment when I take you out to dinner. When you lay down and give me your body, it's an investment into me. I've never had a woman say, hey, listen, Chris, can I take you out to dinner? Can I, invest in you in other ways? They've always presented their bodies as as their bartering chip or as their way to initiate a relationship, and it doesn't go well. um but you know like I said, we have to be adults, we have to be accountable, and we also have to really be honest about our motives. Why am I pushing myself to be here? you know and I hate it, but I'm not going to lie and say that I haven't done it either.
Yeah. And I think though as Christians we do have a higher moral and ethical code, whether we are male or female. and we both have needs, as Chris said, I think there is a point where you have to admit, okay, this is not what I need at the moment. Even if someone is making this offer, then I, to myself as a Christian, need to say, well, I can't do it. This is not working for
Man.
me. It's not going to end well.
Ayana, sometimes you get a little lonely.
I'm not saying that.
You ain't lying.
I mean, like we have Joseph. What if Joseph has said that? You know what I mean?
You're right.
We have those characters in the Bible who stood up for the
Yes.
right thing, even though it didn't factor in their self or their own needs or whatever. You're playing with people's hearts,
Yes.
and to be honest, and I appreciate your transparency, how you're able to talk about, not hide and make yourself look all good and stuff, but you told the truth, right?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of women out there, to be honest, who does the same thing.
Of course.
now
And we all do at some
we're
point.
dealing with a whole generation of young women who want a meal, and so
Yeah.
they would decide to go out just to have a meal, right? And so what you're saying is valid, but you have to hold yourself up to a different standard and not the standard of the world.
Okay.
You but I hear you. This happens on both sides.
It does.
Can I ask a question?
Because I'm in that menopausal brain, and I have to just say this one thing.
Go ahead.
My friend said to me, she said, we're not Build-A-Bear, right? We're not at this age in our life. We are not Bob the Builder. And a lot of us as women, because we have accomplished something, like we could build a man, right? We could help. We watch all these young women on the cast with you. They are women who could be that a marriage material, who could make a man do anything. I this is not a boast, but I've never been in a relationship with a man where he had not come out better on the other side of it. And so the problem is that trying to build, always feeling like we have to fix things. And you said that in your thing. If we still want to feel like we could fix you,
Yeah.
you're gonna jump in and take it. And there's a lot of that's outside there, But trust me, when you find a man who knows what he wants, willing to respect you and to live by your boundaries, is a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing.
It is. Chris, you had a question?
Sorry.
Well, yeah, I wanted to ask you. You said something that you said I should hold myself to a higher standard, right? Did you mean that as me as an individual, or did you mean that as me as a representative for Christian men, or is it just all men are together? Are we supposed to hold ourselves to a higher standard and not expect women to hold themselves to the same standard?
Yeah, when I speak, I go across the board. So I'm not putting pitting one against the other. I'm holding myself on one, not only as standard for Christian standard, but just for me, even if I wasn't a Christian, right? Because I've seen where when I did not, what the effects of that is, right?
Right.
So I'm holding myself to that standard. The standard that God has created is the best standard.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
And so I'm not going to veer away from that in any way, shape, or form. And I expect the same for you as a young man.
Yeah. And I think for me, as I've told Alicia and Candy, we've talked about is I'm at a stage in my life. If I'm in a relationship with you, whatever standards I hold for myself, I expect you to hold for yourself.
Exactly.
So usually in relationships, I find, the women are the ones you're saying that you have to be the one maintaining your level of integrity, trying to meet, especially in Christian circles, trying, let's say, not to have sex before marriage, still, even at this age, right? Because we've seen how sex complicates things all the time. Not even we can't say sometimes, all the time, right? And I'm saying for me, if I'm in a relationship with you at this point, you also want to have a similar understanding. So I shouldn't at any point have to be fighting you off and then saying afterwards, oh, we shouldn't have. You know, no.
Yeah, yeah. I think.
I feel like you
Mhm.
need to be holding yourself to a similar standard as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think when it comes to the standards, I think this is where we have our issues. This is where it begins.
Mm,
It's because with men, and let me speak. Well, let me say for myself. Um, I believe that I know which women are coming that are wife that desire to be a wife,
mm,
and women that are here just for a good time that just want to be
Mhm.
in a relationship.
mm,
Um, and so I think that plays a part in it. Also, it is do you want to because when women talk about this isn't build a bear, I kind of feel as though no, because I've heard it several times before, and I'm like, well, it's not build a bear. I'm not asking you to build anything, but if you're getting into a marriage, when we look at the the expectations of what a marriage is, what a wife is, what a husband is, it's exactly that. It is build a bear. It is that I've got your back, you've got my back. You're my therapist, I'm your masseuse, you're my chef, I'm your dietitian. I'm your crutch, you are my back brace. Wherever it is, if you want to take over the world, I'm your number one cheerleader. If I want to build a deck, you're the we're in this thing together. And when people aren't really considering what it takes to be in a relationship, that's where we get our expectations twisted at. And if you're not, so yeah, that's
Mm.
mm,
Good points. A lot of good points. A lot of good
mm.
points. Anything what do you think, Shelly? I know you're here listening. I know we kind of shifted a little bit, but just thinking about um I mean, when you guys were saying that, women taking her themselves out
Mhm.
of the equation when a man makes that statement, um, I think it's fair for a woman to take herself out. It's just the man would have to reassure and put her back in if
mm.
that's what he wants, right?
I ain't begging nobody to stay. I
I
don't
didn't say
beg about
anybody
no
beg.
friend.
I didn't say beg.
I
I
beg
didn't say
about no
beg.
friend.
Nobody said beg, but if that's what
Nah,
'cause
I
I've
know.
experienced that quite a few times, and thinking like, okay, but we can do this. Why can't we do this together?
Mm,
Where
Mm,
like you said, sometimes men just want to accomplish certain things by themselves on
mhm,
their own,
mhm,
but what can you say to a person who wants to do that?
mm,
Versus someone who can or willing to take advantage of, now there's this new word, feminine energy, to help
mhm,
build and support, whatever this man is trying to do. But I hear the importance of a man gotta make it, wants to make it on his own, at
mm,
least. Any thoughts?
It's Shelly, right? We're
Yes.
waiting.
I was trying to give her some time.
yeah,
Yeah, so listening to the discussion, I think I can go back to the golden rule of do unto others as you would have them do unto you. So in relationships, I think sometimes we're looking for things to satisfy us. Um, for some, it's marriage. For some, it might be intimacy. For some, you know, it's just, having companionship. And I think being honest about that, but being self aware
mm,
first,
mm,
what do I actually want?
Want.
mm,
You need to know
Mhm.
that to be
mhm,
honest with
mhm.
yourself
Yes,
and to be honest
yes.
with the other person. So
Yeah.
if somebody comes to you and they just want intimacy and you all agree on that, that's one thing. But if
Mm,
you know this person is giving intimacy in order to get something, you have
mhm,
to be clear that if the person gives you this, you still wouldn't be able
Mhm.
to return what they really need. And so I feel like we need to be honest with each other. And I
mhm,
don't know that if we do the best for the other person, that is going to hurt us in any way.
Mhm.
I feel as though we feel that if I trick this person
Mhm.
smarter than them, and if I trick them into it and I get what I want, then I'm going to be so pleased.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, sometimes
Yeah.
we leave with guilt,
Mhm.
we leave with damaged people, we leave
Mhm.
them behind. And I think overall, it doesn't do us well, except we may say we learned a lesson. But
Mhm.
beyond that, we cause so much chaos for ourselves and for others,
Mm, mm,
something we really ought to rethink.
mm,
Wow.
mm,
Wow.
mm,
Clap that, clap that,
mm.
clap that.
Yes. That's what you do? Like this?
That's
That's
what
how
they
you
clap
do?
that. The young people say
That's
clap
what
that.
this what is? Oh, there?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
Okay.
supposed to touch. You touch. Clock it. Clock it.
Clack it, clack
Yeah.
Yeah.
it, clack
Clack
it.
it, clack it.
And
That's
Clack
I,
what
it.
it
I,
is.
I
Clack
I
it.
think too, like the whole build a beer thing, coming back to that comment, and um, I'm learning now that it's a matter of how your perception of what that means. And so
Mm,
I think for women, it's not that we don't want to grow with you. It's not like we don't want to build with you. We're saying it comes back to all the things you said previously, that if you are at this point in your life where you don't know where you're going, you don't have
Mm-hmm.
no plans, no goals, no nothing at 50 something, at 40 something years old, then
Mm-hmm.
that's not a relationship that you should be looking to get into. And
Absolutely.
that's where the build a beer thing come from. And it's not that
Right.
we don't want a partnership with you and all the other things that you express. I'm just saying
Mm-hmm.
that at this level and this juncture in your life, that's
Yeah.
not what you want for yourself or anybody,
Mm-hmm.
right? You
Right.
don't want to be with somebody who, well, men are different because
Yeah.
I've heard where men said they prefer to not be with a CEO, but they would choose
Right.
a woman at McDonald's, right?
Right.
If
Right.
she
Mm-hmm.
is, if she's quote unquote submissive.
Well, I don't think it.
Ooh.
I
So
don't.
Ooh.
they would choose that over somebody who's a CEO, right? And so I know with men it's a little different. I think understanding your life, because everything has to do on an individual basis, right? Like how you were raised, how you were taught, your understanding of things. As a man, you were taught that a man have to provide and he has to stand in his own right and so forth. Somebody else come from a different family upbringing where they've seen both parents work together and both
Mhm.
parents build together and they're okay doing that. So you have to
Right.
know there's a history behind the way people think about things.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
so meeting a man who probably, his father was the breadwinner, he provided that type of thing. He's a man who would be like, I need to build on my own because if I don't build on my own,
Right.
I depend on a woman, that causes me to
Yeah.
feel less about myself. Right.
Right.
I've been in a relationship with a Caucasian man who his parents built together.
Oh my gosh. You dated a white man? Jesus. Jesus.
Oh boy.
Jesus.
It's all right, girl. Yeah.
Stop it. Stop the podcast. Stop the podcast.
Yes.
And so learning from that, once you okay?
Nah, nah, I'm not.
But
I'm not.
learning from that is that he came from a different upbringing, right? Where
Yes.
both his parents worked together. And so he didn't mind us working together, as opposed to a black man where they're taught differently, right? So there's a whole psychology behind that, knowing who you're with, um, and why they're making these decisions. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like a lot of times we just judge people for
Mm-hmm.
who they are and who they present, and not
Right.
learning the background and how they were
Yeah.
raised. And there's a lot that goes into why you make decisions. So I think
Yeah.
as I grow as a person, I realize that it's important to investigate and know why people are
Mm-hmm.
making those choices.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think with the reason why men do not want to date, or black men, or say they wouldn't want to date a woman that's a CEO, and they'll rather take someone that works at McDonald's. It's not so much about being submissive. It's the fact that most women in leadership positions don't know how to turn it off.
Mm.
Um, and that's the turnoff. I know for myself, I love strong, educated, independent women that have a voice and an opinion. But if you talk to me as if you're my boss, I'm not going to go to work for 16 hours and come home and be told what to do, be talked to as an employee in my home. You know what I'm saying? I don't, you can tell me what to, if, how Jill Scott said, if you can tell me what to do, tell me what to do. I receive it. Right. And that's the difference, is that most women don't know how to turn off the 9 to 5 conversation or 9 to 5 talk when they come home. You know what I'm saying? Because men tell, what are we eating today? Chris, can you go to the store and get this? Chris, can you wash the clothes? Can you fold the clothes? Can you mow the yard? If you're talking to me as a wife, everything you say is received and is executed. But if you talk to me like you run me, that what I better do it, then yeah, we're gonna have a problem with that. And that is the problem. That's an issue when we're talking about dealing with a lot of women in high positions, that, and it's always a competition when it doesn't need to be, you know. um
Can I add when you're done? Sorry.
no, go. I
I
think
was
it
gonna
was
add, I was listening to something the other day talking about helping women tap into their feminine side. So we assume that because
Mhm,
you're female that we are feminine. And one of the
mhm.
things they were saying, and the author was a male, it was one of these Facebook threads kind of thing. And he was saying that, when you as a man make that woman, she feels comfortable, safe in your presence, then it's easier for her to tap into that feminine side. I
I
know
think
me
that's
personally. Go ahead, sorry.
I think that's BS. I
Ah,
think it's BS, because listen to what's being said. Listen to what is being said. It's saying that if I do all of this extra stuff to make you feel as if you don't have to do something, like what is it, like what are you asking me to do?
right.
You
So it's
understand?
not
What are you asking me to do? That
it's not
as a
extra
man,
stuff, bro. It's not extra stuff. It's
what
Yeah, it's
you're
just
not
saying,
like
extra.
it's
Mhm.
just
you're asking.
showing
Go ahead.
up as who you say you are, right?
Right.
Being
So what is
consistent. And no,
what?
it's not extra. It's just showing up, being. If you say that you are trustworthy, you say you're honest, you say you're hardworking, show that. So that, like for me, I know personally when I get home after speaking my how many thousand words per day, when I come home, I'm exhausted. I don't want any conversations. I don't want to boss around anybody. I've been telling people things to do all day long. When I come home, I want to relax. I don't want to hear about your day. I don't want to hear. I just want to relax, right?
Mhm.
And to me, I've heard that narrative about the CEO woman coming home. When she comes home, she's tired. And I think if you are in a space with a man who is comfortable in who he is, he knows who you are, right? He accepts you for who you are, and he knows the power that you wield outside. But when you come into that home, because he's comfortable in his skin, then it allows you to breathe. You don't need to be his boss. You're already a boss at the office. At least that's
Right.
how I feel.
Right. And the several, I have several friends that whose wives are very high in corporate America.
Mm-hmm.
But when they're home, they're a completely different person. The dynamics, the family dynamics flows effortlessly. There's efforts on both parts to make home a utopia,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where that's the disconnect there. um and I don't think a lot of our women know how to do that, because so much is placed on women to become educated, to do things independently, to be strong, to be all these things. But while we're instilling our women to be these independent educated women, we're not also saying, listen, you have to be a wife, you have to be a mother, you have to be these things. And that's just a disconnect, you know what I mean? And also, I don't think, as a man, I've never I understand that I have a 9 to 5. I've never come home and been like, well, I have to do this, I have to do this. It's automatically known. I've I I'm home. These are my belongings. I've got to pay my rent. I've got to wash my dishes. This is a part of being an adult. I got to do it. It's non-negotiable. I'm not even upset that I got to do it. It's mine. Whether or not you're here or not, I still got to cook some food. Whether you're here or not, I still have to make my bed. What I hear from a lot of women is they take those things that you got to do naturally and make it as if it's something extra. No, you still got to wash clothes. You still have to do all these extra things. And the argument is now it's like, oh, it's your natural things you're just naturally doing is supposed to be a job. You understand? And that's like to me, and I don't think a lot of people, a lot of other ethnicities, I don't hear them doing that. I could be wrong, but I'm not in every single household. I see you, Alyssa. It's Alicia, right? I mean, I'm sorry, I'm saying it wrong. I see your hand there. We'll get to you in a moment. But I'm just
All right.
saying. But I'm just saying that when it comes to the home front, but when we are talking about people coming home, I think the understanding of what it is to be a wife and what it is to be a husband, these are things that have to be discussed and understood by both parties. What are your expectations of a wife? What are your expectations of a husband? Because if my wife brings home $50 million a year, listen, I'm not complaining. You know what I'm
Stop
saying? I'm
complaining.
not complaining, and I don't feel less than either. She's more ambitious than I am. That's great. You understand? But it doesn't mean that I'm less than. It doesn't mean that I'm less of a man. It doesn't mean that she can just boss me around. I don't care. I'll take my little $30,000 a year and I'll leave. You understand? Listen, yes, ma'am. Yes, you in the back.
Are you the moderator now?
Listen, this is the Chris show now.
Hey man, listen, man. I've
Chris,
got to hold down.
Over here and
I've got to hold down.
The CEO of Black Beautiful Brain over here in 2 seconds. You know what I mean?
Hey man.
Dude.
Hey man, I'm doing this by myself. I'm doing this for all the black men.
I know. Good job. Good job, Chris.
Yeah.
Take over the show just like that. Shelly, go ahead. I'll talk after you. Go ahead.
Oh, wow. I was going to listen to your comments.
Okay.
Okay, so I think some things that have come out of Chris's contributions are rooted in the evolution of society and the impact of industrialization and the feminist movement and all of that. And society hasn't been able to, or society has not yet wrestled with or come to terms with how the changes have impacted us. So we live in a society now where, as was mentioned before, a lot more women are educated. Now, it isn't always necessarily that a woman wants more education, right? There are some women, okay, so let's say in our 20s, 30s, you would have liked to get married. You didn't get married, so what else is there to do? You go off and you study and you get a job and you rise, the corporate ladder. And so that has evolved. And while that has been happening, men have noted, but how do they respond? Society says that women need more rights. They're entitled to more, which is true. But how has the male role in society adjusted to it? That has not been formalized. No proper discussions have been had. So everybody's kind of doing their own thing. Right? So when I'm in a classroom and I have 30 students and there are 2 males in my class, what does that mean for the future of relationships? When the guys in a class and they hear women speaking. Thank God for Chris. Chris still, is able to manage the four women here. Some guys who will say, let the ladies take over. They want to take over, let them take over. And so a lot of men push back and they say, okay, this is what life is like now. And they don't actually have a meaningful response to what is happening. And I don't think society has had it. And so we are all floundering around trying to figure things out in relationships, in the workplace. And it's a conversation and action that needs to be taken, but it hasn't happened as yet. So that's why we're still in the spaces that we are trying to figure out. If your wife makes more money, how do you respond to that? If your friends embarrass you about it, how do you respond to that? Because all of that is happening, but we don't know yet how to meaningfully respond from a societal level.
All right, Lucia, and then we're gonna try to bring it to an end. But yeah,
Well, so a couple of things that Shelly said that, oh no, Chris.
Yeah,
No,
yes.
what Chris said is that he wasn't sure about how this plays out in other ethnicities. And there's a reason why he is not sure, because he has been listening to a lot of Black men talk about Black women. And so it's almost like a propaganda, right? Where it seemed like it's pervasive all over, right? But this is happening in every Black relationship. It's not happening to every Black woman who has rise to the top, um, and Black women encompass different ethnic cultures. Because I would have to say, and I can only speak on the Caribbean culture because that's where I'm from, that we rise to the top, but we know how to respect our men because we've seen our parents, our mothers do this. And we're able to emulate that, right? And so to make blanket statements about Black women and say all Black women who attain to this level and this height it's a problem that I'm having, that they paint all of us with the same brush. The other thing is that because among our Black men, there's a lot of chatter and talk about this. I'll say this much about Asian culture and white culture. We don't hear a lot about this happening because they don't get on there and talk bad about their women. And, I had to explain to my white counterparts because they were like, "Oh, y'all wear wigs and weaves and the lashes and all of this stuff." And I say to them, because a lot of white women wear wigs and weaves and extension and lashes. Asian women wear a lot of extensions. They wear a lot of lashes because anyway, I wouldn't say that, but because we're on media, but they wear a lot of these things too. But you know what? You don't see a podcast, name Red Pill or Yellow Pill or whatever pills, talking and bashing Asian women. They don't get on there and bash white women, right? There's a lot of white women who attain to leadership and they're very forceful in their own homes, right? And the reason why you don't know that is because that chatter and that talk is not there. I will tell you, I've had a friend who I didn't even know her husband didn't even have a job. She's a doctor, right? And every single time I interacted with this young lady for anything, she said, "I have to talk to so and so first about it, and then I'll get back to you." I talked to so and so, and so for a long time I didn't know that her husband wasn't working. Now he did.
He's a Black doctor.
She's a Black doctor. He's a Black man, and when I talked to her, when I found this out and I talked to her about it, I told her I admire her so much because nobody knew that your husband doesn't have a job. And she said, he does. He takes care of the home. He takes
That's
care of
right.
the children. She said, I bring in more money than him, but I can't do what he does. He does all the
Mhm.
homework with your children. He picked them up from school. And anything in this house here that needs fix it, he fixes it.
Right.
So he does that, right? And there's a lot
Mhm.
more women. I can give you a lot more examples of that I have
Mhm.
personally experienced. So
Right.
it
Let
really
me say.
breaks my heart when I see our black women, black men get on there and say our black women when they attain
Right.
certain level, they don't know how to talk to a
Mhm.
man. Do not paint that brush with
Let
everybody.
me. Let me. Let me. I know that we're running close to time, but let me say this: it's the when we look at the numbers, when we look at the numbers are drastically different. And you look at those successful marriages, those happy homes, you'll see that the women and the men, there is a difference. There, the way they communicate is completely different than the
I agree.
mass majority. And so that's what I'm getting at, is that a lot of us, and I say, and you're right, I will apologize for basketing everyone into one basket. But well, let me say this too before you start clapping. Is that it's that there we our race is the only one that puts our business out there in the streets to be, and we do it so often that it seems second nature, and every culture piggybacks on that, and they do. But it's still, we're still doing it.
Yes.
You understand, we're
Yes.
still doing it.
Yes.
So that's the thing. And for, and for that, I know, I'm just going to leave it at that. And I agree with every. I think we ought to stop putting our business out. We need to stop being examples of dysfunction for the world. Because
Mm.
we need to learn how to keep things in house as
Amen.
we
Amen.
learn how to communicate with one another.
Amen.
I like
Amen.
that. I like
Amen.
that.
Amen.
Amen.
Clock it.
Man,
Oh
listen,
man.
that's what's up.
Clock
That is
it.
what's up.
That's
Yes, yes,
right. Thank you.
yes.
You almost talked us out of a podcast,
I know he was supposed
right?
that one time.
Right. But no, but
Yes.
I mean, I think all of this is such great dialogue to have.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
this is what we're missing sometimes, is having a balanced dialogue where we can hear and listen to each
Mm-hmm.
other, talking
Yeah.
about our experiences, our perspectives that are different, and also seeing how our perspectives and ideas can even change and shift as we listen to one another. And
Mm-hmm.
so, thank you guys for joining us. We have to come back. Part two.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Part two, definitely, because I haven't even finished all my questions yet.
No, she hasn't. She has a
Mm-hmm.
list of questions.
I do. I most certainly do. So we thank you guys for joining us, Alicia, Chris, and Shelly. Thank you so much for
Mm-hmm.
joining us. And we'll be back with you guys real soon. Thank you. I mean, Ayana, what do you think?
Wow.
That was
Wow.
good.
That was amazing. Like, I didn't even realize the time was so much time had passed. Oh my gosh.
It did. I was just so engrossed into the conversation. It was very good. Very good. I mean, guys, what did you guys think?
Yeah.
What did
Give
our
us your
audience think?
responses. Call
Yeah.
us. Put it
Mm.
in the comment section.
Mhm. You know, call us. Like you said, leave us a message. Leave us a
Mhm.
voicemail. Call this number. What's the number?
678-667-3371.
That's right. And definitely follow us on these particular platform, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify at Black Beautiful and Brave Podcast. We want to hear from you. Maybe
Yeah.
your opinion is just a little bit different than what was shared today. Leave it in the comment. Let us know what you're thinking, right? And if you agree with us, I think there's an emoji that does this, right?
We need
Put
to
that in
find
the
out.
comment. If you enjoyed this episode, put the finger emoji. You know what we're talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Go ahead and put it in the comments. We thank you so much. And so with that being said, we are Triple B.
Out.
That's right. Bye.